What's up, everybody? I hope you guys are having a Fruit of Leaf joyful day. My name is Manny, and this is Just Look Up. And for those of you who don't know, which is most of you, I'm 19 years old. And one of the things that shocked me the most after graduating high school was how absolutely, utterly cruel the world is. And I don't mean that in the sense of like everybody around me is so evil and mean. Like, no, that's about the same. Like, I kind of understand how people be, but it's more in the sense that we live in a world where even if you work a 9-to-5 job like you were expected to and told about throughout all your years in school, you still might not be meeting the benchmark for survivability. And not just that, not just might not, you will not. To be able to afford health insurance, life insurance, car insurance, gas, your apartment bill, food every week, and that's just for one person. It's pretty unachievable. And if you're at an entry-level job like me and most of the people my age, you're kind of screwed unless you want to work 2 jobs just to be able to live on your own. And if you can't afford college, you either have to take out a loan, which, if you're Muslim, that means you have to go against your religion, because loans are inevitably just a detriment to society, or you just don't go to school. And you try to work it off and you try to build up the income. But the problem is that the only way that you're going to build up the income is by working a shitty job for who knows how long. And even then you have the possibility of not going to school because you're spending all this extra time paying for your bills that are almost unsurvivable, and most of the cases are, especially in the cases of housing. Apartments should not be $1,200 for a studio in the Midwest. That is absolutely ridiculous, especially when most minimum wage jobs in the Midwest are paying $7.45, I think, or $8 it is, and I think that most businesses are paying around $12 to $13 an hour at entry-level jobs, which, if you think that $12 to $13 an hour is able to supply for a $1,200 a month flat and comfortable, survivable living, no, not at all. You might be able to get a really nice cardboard box with some RGB lights in it, but that's about it. It's not all doom and gloom out here in the real world, as I'm coming to realize that there are ways to carve out your own path. But for me, the main way has been getting to know people and then networking in the paths that really work for me, and just kind of finding out from word, because I find that a lot of the things that are online, a lot of the sources that I'm given, such as Indeed, I can't think of any of the other ones right now, but or Facebook even, or even OfferUp, push the most sponsored or advertised jobs on the market. And a lot of those jobs don't pay that much, and a lot of the really good jobs that pay a good amount aren't even on those websites. And when talking about the increasing struggle for survivability for us young people in the United States, not to mention just everybody in general, we cannot forget to mention the increasing homeless rate. I mean, nearly 600,000 people out of the 300 million people in the US are homeless. That is an exponential number. That is huge. That is a ridiculously huge number, and it's only growing. And so many people are just teetering on that line of homelessness. The poverty rate, I believe, is 13%, and it really is just inexcusable for a country of such wealth. But now that we can recognize that we're struggling and there's not much that we can do about it, so what can we do about it? I really don't know. I really wish I could tell you. For me, what has worked the most is being able to just talk to people and get to know people and let them know that I'm struggling in this area. Because, when you have friendships and when you start to know people and they know that you're struggling in a certain place, they're going to look out for you if they genuinely care a lot of the times. Or you'll just get lucky. But I feel like a lot of these websites and apps genuinely will get you into a job, guaranteed. If you need a job, you will get into it. But if you're looking for entry-level positions and you don't have certifications, you're not going to have that much luck getting a livable wage by job searching online. You'd have to definitely talk to some people and really learn about what is paying the most in your area. Because most of the businesses that are open in our area aren't really bettering humanity. So might as well just be making as much money as possible doing it, so that way we're able to survive. Because they're just holding dollars over our head, and inevitably that's just our survivability that they're taking from us, and it's disgusting. I personally am trying to move out of my grandma's place and get my own apartment. That's the goal right now. That's the short-term goal. I was on my track to college, but maybe I'll make another video about kind of what happened there. But long story short, I'm not in college, and I'm not able to go to college at this very moment. So we're just set on track on getting my own place, and I have a few other plans, but I can't really talk about that on here, at least not yet. Maybe we'll get into it in the future, but hey, we're chilling right now. But it genuinely is a struggle to find an apartment, just an apartment. And I'm sorry, but I can't invest in like a duplex to live in or a cheap rental, because these houses I know are not taken care of by their landlords, and I've seen them and I've lived in them, and I don't want to put myself in that environment, and nobody should have to be in that environment. Nobody should be treated like scum, like a pest, like a roach. We're people in the wealthiest country in the world that we're not even taken care of properly. I think the best way to really survive right now is to just plot strategically where we're going to move, what jobs we're taking, what apartments we're taking, and don't just accept everything that comes right away. Hold some value to yourself, but make sure that you can eat and survive during that time, but don't just settle yet. I see a lot of my friends nowadays that are kind of settling at lower paying jobs, and I love them to death, and I mean no hate or judgment towards them, but I genuinely am concerned about, they're spending so much of their time at this job, exerting so much energy, and they're barely getting anything out of it. Like, they're not getting any survival out of it by any means. They're just getting taken advantage of by these businesses, and that's what's going to happen to you unless you have higher standards for yourself, and you need to if you want to reach that survivability. And if everybody starts thinking and plotting strategically how they're going to work and how they're going to live, like, we will end up having a exterior effect on society, on the systematic cuffs that are preventing us from moving freely, and it's just one step in a much larger direction, but we have to do what we have to do. We can't just keep getting squashed on by society, and if we have to move within its limitations in order to get somewhere for at least a little bit, I mean, we gotta do what we gotta do. It's really unfortunate that we have to go through this, because it is traumatizing to work for this much and still not get any benefits from it. It feels like we are slaves to the society that we live in. At least it does for me. Like, I definitely feel like an indentured slave. And if you really want the protection of a union, like, a lot of the times you have to sign your life away in a contract, which is basically indentured servitude. So it's like every route that we take is kind of being messed with, it's being screwed with, and who knows if it's been screwed with since the dawn of time, or if now people have just started meddling it as of recently. But whatever it is, we know it's not good, and we know it's hard to survive in it. So we need to advocate for change, and we need to look for avenues where we can express change. But we also need to think strategically on how to survive and keep ourselves afloat in this world, because it's very difficult. Especially if you're a young person like me. Or not even just that, especially if you're a person that doesn't have certifications, a degree, or the money to get a degree. But anyways, y'all have just a blessed rest of your day or night or morning. I don't know when y'all are up. I personally am third shift, so I'm up like at a really weird hour from like 5 p.m. to like 5 a.m. pretty much 6 a.m. So, but yeah, anyways, y'all have a great motherfucking day, dog, and I'll catch you on the next. See ya.